G'day and welcome to Videodrome Cinema. Today I have 10 interesting and fun facts about the film The Amazing Spider-Man 2. For the role of Mary Jane, Kristen Stewart auditioned for the role, but they didn't choose her. Shailene Woodley got the role originally. They started filming with her, but then in the end they ended up cutting all of her scenes. The director decided that there were too many characters in the film, so they ended up cutting her completely. Felicity Jones had the same thing happen to her. She even announced that she's going to be the Green Goblin's girlfriend in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. She is in the film, and she does have scenes with Harry Osborn, but the fact that they're in a relationship was cut out or really cut short. The future of Spider-Man is really up in the air, almost since the film came out. First, Sony said there's going to be a third part of this series, and then there's going to be a Sinister Six spin-off, and that Venom is going to be in it, and then unknown female character. Then, not long after that, they announced that they're going to do an Amazing Spider-Man 4 as well. But then they backtracked and announced that no, we're going to go with the Sinister Six spin-off first, and that they're actually going to delay the production of The Amazing Spider-Man until 2018. Not long after that was the hack of the Sony emails, and we found out that they were in talks with Marvel and that they were trying to get rid of Andrew Garfield. It's not known what their problem with the actor was. They had some trouble with some of the things he said during the film's promotion. Then there was a long time when it was all quiet, and then they announced that they're going to be working together with Marvel and with Disney, and that everything that they've announced so far about the future of Spider-Man is gone. During the credit block of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, they had a scene from X-Men: The Days of Future Past. This was basically a promo of the X-Men film. This had to happen because the director Marc Webb was in contract with Foxx, and he was in contract breach by directing a Spider-Man film for Sony. And the two companies came to a head that Sony would have to promo the X-Men film so that Marc Webb wouldn't be in breach of his contract. Later on in the DVD and the Blu-ray release, the promo isn't in the credit block. And Marc Webb made this contract with Foxx when he was filming 500 Days of Summer. In an interview, James Horner said that though he was asked to make the music for Amazing Spider-Man 2, he saw the film for the first time and he really didn't like it, so he decided to decline. So that's how, in his place, we got Hans Zimmer. When Harry's looking around in his dad's archives, then we can see different file names that might be known to us from the Spider-Man universe. There's one file called Ravencroft, Dr. Connors, Dr. Morbius, and then Venom. Ravencroft is the name of the asylum that actually shows up later in the film. We know that Dr. Connors is, of course, the Lizard. Dr. Morbius is a villain from later Spider-Man comic books. He would have been in the Sinister Six spin-off, and of course we know Venom is one of the biggest villains of Spider-Man. They actually cut a lot of scenes of Harry Osborn and the Green Goblin, or they cut it to make sure that they didn't get a higher age classification. There was a scene where Harry drunk drives and a woman is begging him to slow down. They decided to cut that scene entirely. They cut most of the romantic stuff with Felicity Jones. The scene where Harry becomes the Green Goblin was a lot more graphic, and they cut a bunch of things from there. What we know for sure is that we could have seen that his teeth fall out and the fangs grow in its place, and we would have seen his nails grow into claws. There were also alternative versions of Gwen's death. For instance, the Goblin would have stabbed her or he would have broken her neck, or he was the one who would cut the spider web, and he would have ended up being responsible for Gwen's death. What we end up with in the film as Gwen's death, that would have also been more expanded and a lot more violent. They cut a lot of that so they could retain the PG-13 rating. After Gwen dies, we would have heard the Goblin laughing at Peter, and they would have got back into a fight, and Spider-Man would have almost beat the Green Goblin to death. There were a lot of scenes in the original script that they ended up not even shooting. One of those we talked about was Mary Jane's character, their background story, her relationship with Peter. We would have known a lot more about Electro's background and family connections. The Daily Bugle would have been in it, according to the script. And of course we would have seen Jonah Jameson, but they didn't end up shooting any of this. Actually, in the background of this, it might be that they couldn't find a good enough actor for Jonah Jameson's role. The original script also encompassed a 7-month period, but in the film it's actually an 18-month period because we have that 1-year jump. And then in the original script, Rhino's character wasn't even in it. Also in the script, before Gwen dies, she would have had a couple of lines that she would have said to Spider-Man, and the ending of the film was also different because we would have got Peter's dad, who we find out is still alive, and he would have convinced Peter to be Spider-Man again. So these are the interesting and fun facts I found about The Amazing Spider-Man 2. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to receive notifications about when we get new content out, please click on the bell and subscribe to our channel. Thanks, bye.